The Celebrate Extraction Report was been entered as Exhibit 251 to see if the report itself generated what's referred to as the IMEI number unique to a cellular phone.
Yes, I did.
I'm just going to place page 2 on the screen. And does that list the IMEI number?
Yes, it does.
And what is the IMEI number, sir?
That'd be 352922050372
Okay, did you have the IMEI number off by one number on your report?
Yes, so the second digit, when I write it on my report, I look at it manually, and the number was smudged on the phone itself, so I documented it as a 6. But this number actually comes directly from the software, so the software asks the phone for its IMEI, and that's the number that's presented.
So this is an IMEI coming from the phone itself, the device?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and just showing you again, as I previously did, the page from Exhibit 249F. The IMEI number listed there, second from the bottom as RIM. Is that the same IMEI number?
That would be the same one, yes.
Now, you indicated, Agent Kelsch, that one of the difficulties with the logical extraction, at least as far as printing out in the Celebrate report, was the phone calls, or the call logs. Is that correct?
That is correct.
But you indicated that you did something to at least document in the best way possible the calls that you could obtain from that phone, correct?
Yes, and in many instances when we are unable to get the information off it forensically, we'll do it in the old-fashioned method, which is where we basically just take the screen and we take a photo of each of the screens to document it.
I'm just going to, again, take a random page, page 405. Is this one of the call logs that you did the work on that you described, sir?
Yes, so here in the report it's documenting each of those images. Those are images that I created. It's showing the date and time that I created that image on the right, and then that's just a thumbnail of the image on the digital report itself. So if you're on the computer, if you click on that, it opens up a file that allows you to see it clearly.
So on the green thumb drive that was marked for identification, you could click on this and see the actual phone call that you were documenting, is that right?
Yes, and print it out and have it in a usable form, yes.
Now, Agent Kelsch, in a similar topic, you indicated that the logical extraction did not give you all of the photos. It would only give you the photos that were associated with text messages, correct?
That is correct.
And you indicated that, again, similar to what you just did with the call logs, that you could physically, manually document in some way the photographs that were contained within that cellular device. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And calling your attention now to January of 2017, this year, were you asked to do some type of further analysis of the phone and documenting all the photographs on that device?
Yes, I was.
May I approach witness, sir?
You may.
Agent Kelsch, first I'm going to show you a CD. Do you recognize the handwriting on that, sir?
Yes, that's mine.
And what is contained within that CD?
This CD contains photos and videos that were documented from the phone in January of this year, as well as a Celebrate report that was produced from those photos.
You're asked that the CD be marked for identification?
Without objection. We received triple D.
Ready, Nancy?
Yes.
Agent Kelsch, I'm also going to show you a 42-page document. Do you recognize that, sir?
Yes, so this is the Celebrate report that I produced to document the photos and videos that were retrieved.
And is that essentially the same that was just contained with the CD, within the CD that was just introduced for identification purposes?
Yes, this is a hard copy of it.
Your Honor, for the second celebrate report created by Agent Kelsch, as the next number exhibit subject to redaction by both parties.
Subject to redaction without objection.
All right, Exhibit 251.
That's 252, Your Honor.
252, excuse me.
Mr. Kelsch, I'm just going to go to page 11 of Exhibit 262. Can you see that on your screen, sir?
Yes, I can.
And describe item number listed as 26. Can you describe what all of this means?
Sure. So in the column next to 26, it gives you the actual photo name. So that's the name that whatever device took the photo gave it. It shows where it was actually saved.
I'm sorry, right here, is that where it's
Yes.
saved?
Yes. So it shows where it was saved. And then that MD5 is what we call a hash or a checksum. Basically, if a computer looks at that file, it gives it a unique identifying number. And that's the unique identifying number that goes with that particular photo. If that photo would be changed or altered in any way, and you checked that MD5 hash or checksum again, it would change the number.
What about the next column indicating size, created, modified, access, source extraction?
Yes, so size would be the actual size of the photo. The created date and the access date, as you notice on here, are January 18, 2017. So when a photo is taken from one media and put onto another, so if for example, you had a photo on your computer and you wanted to save it onto a CD for yourself, it's actually the created date is going to be the date that you put it on that new CD. So the date you're seeing there is the date and time that I actually took that photo and copied it over. The modified date is going to be the date where the photo is, in time where the photo was actually created. And then underneath you see metadata. Metadata is data that is sometimes attached to a photograph. So in this particular case, there was data that was attached to the photograph when it was taken. And you'll see the headings there. It tells you the camera make that was used. So a Research in Motion camera was used. Research in Motion is the company that makes the Blackberry series of phones. The model was a Blackberry Z10, which is the type of phone I examined. It gives you a capture time and date. And then,
what does capture time and date mean?
So the date and the exact date and time that photograph was taken. And that date and time is taken from the phone itself. So it would be whatever date and time was listed on the phone when that was taken.
And just in case we're in different time zones, what time would be reflected? In other words, if the person's in, for instance, California, would it be California time? Or if the person were in Massachusetts, would it be Massachusetts time?
I guess the easiest way to explain it would be the whatever time is actually on the screen of the phone. So if I left Massachusetts and I flew to California, turned my phone back on, it would readjust to that time. And when I took that photo, it would imprint that date and time on it.
Is there a difference between capture time and modified time?
There should not be, and if we look on here, I think the reason why we have a difference is one may be adjusted for time zone and one's not. So that's why we see 9:43 on one and 6:43 on the other. We have a 3-hour difference.
But capture time would be the time the photograph is actually taken on a device.
Yes, it is.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Agent Kelsch, I'm just going to show you a blown-up photograph with some data underneath. Is that a fair and accurate representation of the entry we see now, entry number 26, from the download you did relative to that telephone?
Yes, it is.
And it shows the same photograph as well as certain data that you've already described?
Yes, it actually has a little extra data that we don't see on the screen, but yes.
I'm going to offer the photograph, the blown-up photograph, as Exhibit 252A.
Without objection.
Without objection, that's received.
Pleasing Exhibit 252A on the screen. First, is that the photograph that was taken?
Yes, it is.
And based upon what you've previously testified to, sir, the information contained underneath is all data associated with that photograph, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And date, time, the original, to indicate April 2nd, 2013?
Yes, it would.
Kelsch, calling your attention now to page 12 of your report. The next two entries, first being entry number 27. Does that appear to have another photograph, sir?
I believe that's the same photograph we just looked at.
Same photograph we just looked at
Yes.
with additional data?
Yes.
And why does it seem that each photograph has two copies?
Usually on a telephone, when you go into the gallery, so you're going to look at your photos on the phone, you get little images, and what the phone will do is it will create a smaller version sometimes of the picture, so that when you load it on your phone, you can see those little images easier, and then you can click the actual photo you want to see, and you go into the larger version of the photo. But that's why sometimes you'll get two versions of the same photo.
Calling your attention now to entry 28, which appears to be a different photo, is that correct?
It is, yes.
And similar to what you discussed previously, the capture time, is it fair to state that that's what would indicate the time that the photograph was taken, date and time?
Yes, it would.
And here indicates that the photograph was taken on April 2nd, 2013.
That's correct, yes.
Your approach witness, Your Honor.
You may.
Just showing you what appears to be an enlarged photograph. Do you recognize that, sir?
Yes, I do.
And is that an enlarged photograph that we see on Exhibit 252A, indicating entry number 28?
Yes, it is.
And there's also, in addition to the enlarged photograph of item 28, is there also similar data that's listed below?
Yes, there is.
Your Honor, for the photograph has the next number exhibit, I believe, 252B.
Without objection.
It's received.
Agent Kelsch, is that the photograph that was item number 28 on the list?
Yes, it is.
And the date of the photograph appears to be April 2nd, 2013, is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Calling your attention now to entry number 30. Does that appear to be a different photograph from the other two?
Yes, it is.
And the date that photograph was created was what, sir?
That would be April 2nd, 2013 as well.
I approach a witness, Your Honor.
You may.
Actually, sir, in case you need to reference, if there's no objection, I'll leave a copy of your report up here that's been entered as Exhibit 252. First, I'm going to show you an enlarged photograph. Do you recognize that, sir?
Yes, I do.
And does that appear to be an enlarged version of what we just had you briefly discuss, which I believe was entry number
That would be 30. It's
30, it's
just
a little bit
below
off the
there.
line.
Yes.
And this is a larger version of the photograph as well as the same data that you've talked about,
Yes, that's correct.
indicating the photograph was taken on April 2nd, 2013.
That's correct, yes.
Going to offer the photograph as Exhibit 252C.
Mr. Sullivan,
Without objection.
it's received.
And Agent Kelsch, to save some time, I'm showing you another enlarged photograph.
Yes.
And do you find that enlarged photograph in the document that's been entered as Exhibit 252, the report, in one of those entries?
Yes, it's image number 174 in the report.
174 in the report?
Yes.
Is it a larger version of it with the same data that you've discussed on the second page?
It has the same data, but the actual date of the data is different on this one.
And what's the date of the data on the report?
This is March 29th of 2013 for that photograph.
You're going to offer the photograph with the data testified to by Agent Kelsch, the next numbered exhibit, which would be 252D.
Counsel, without objection.
Without objection.
Thank you.
Approach witness, Your Honor.
If I may.
Finally, Agent Kelsch, I'm going to show you one more enlarged photograph. Do you recognize that, sir?
I do?
And is that one of the photographs that is contained within Exhibit 252, one of the photographs that you were able to extract and provide some data for, sir?
Yes, it is, and that was labeled under entry of photograph number 182 in that report.
And what was the date of the origination date relative to that, sir?
So this one was slightly different. It didn't have the date that the camera actually took the photograph, but it has the date that the file was first created. So I can't tell you if that's the actual date it was taken or if that's the date it was transferred from one media to another, but it has a date of March 30th, 2013.
March 30th, 2013. And the document I have before you, that's the same photograph, sir?
Yes, it is.
And I'm just going to write 3/30/13, and that's the date that that first appears in the device. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
But you can't say whether or not it was transferred from another device. Is that correct?
I know that it was not taken from this particular camera on this phone. And because of the data that's contained, I can't tell you the exact date it was taken, but I can tell you that it's at some point when this file was created. So when this particular file was first created, it was March 30th, 2013.
Your Honor, for the photograph as the next number exhibit, I believe 252E.
Mr. Sullivan,
Without objection.
thank you. It's received.
Thank you very much, Agent Kelsch. I have no further questions.
Thank you.
Brief indulgence, Your Honor. Can I approach?
You may.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm handing you again what's been marked as Exhibits 251, pardon my back, 251 and Exhibits 252. You just use these, so you're familiar with them, right?
Yes.
All right. Now, you extracted videos and text messages and images, photos from the telephone, right?
That is correct, yes.
And it's fair to say that there's no video of Aaron Hernandez that you extracted on the 16th of July, 2012, at the corner of Charlotte and Harold Street, right?
Not that I've seen, no.
There's no text that says, hey, it's the 12th of July and I'm at the corner of Charlotte and Harold at 2:28 a.m., right?
12th of July or 16th?
16th of July.
I actually wasn't tasked with reading through all the particular texts on the phone, so I'm not sure what the content is.
Okay, so you have no information with respect to that.
No, I do not.
And similarly, draw your attention to the date, February 13th, 2013. You're not familiar with any video of Mr. Hernandez in a car in the early morning hours with Alexander Bradley, right?
No, I'm not.
Mr. Hagan showed you a number of pictures. You have those pictures in mind?
Yes, I do.
And they were pictures of Aaron with some of his tattoos?
I just know they're pictures of tattoos. I'm not going to guess as to who they belong to.
Fair enough. Now, you, those weren't the only pictures that you extracted, correct?
That is correct.
Fair to say these are some of the other pictures on the telephone?
Without going and taking each photograph and matching it to my report to tell you, I can't, but I can say that these look like familiar images that were on the phone, but I would have to take the time to match each one if you'd like.
Well, that's not necessary. You don't disagree that these are images that were on the telephone?
They look very similar to a number of images that I saw on the phone, yes.
And indeed, you would agree that there are more of these sorts of images than the tattoos.
If you know that, you may state that.
I mean, if we were to add up photos of children as compared to photos of tattoos, yes, there are more photos of children on there.
And I just put another slide on the Elmo. This one looks familiar too. And you're welcome to check and get your records if you like.
I just don't know which particular photo you're referring to.
This slide. Do these look like photos that you extracted as well?
Yes, some of them are familiar to me and others aren't. If you'd like me to check to see if they came, I'm more than happy to do that.
Well, sure. If you think that they're not, go right ahead. Take your time.
Well, no, I'm not questioning that. I just
Okay.
don't want to say that these are photos that I extracted because I'd have to cross-reference each one to make sure that those are ones that I extracted from the phone. But I will say that they all look like the types of photos that were on the phone, if that makes it easier.
Absolutely. And we won't subject the jury to you having to cross-reference each of those. Those are all my questions.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. Please watch your step.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Hagan, if you could retrieve the exhibits.
Thank you, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming close to 11 o'clock, but we did take a brief pause. My inclination would be to go perhaps another 20 minutes before a full morning recess. Is that a problem for any jury? Mr. Hagan?
Actually, Your Honor, may we approach?
Yep.